Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with crank.com and with thatmetalstation.com. And today it is a great pleasure. I'm getting to have a chat with Greg Wagner, who spent, well over 20 years in the heavy metal scene, man, and the metal scene, laying down some great vocals with a whole ton of bands. Here today to chat about Wreck Defy, who is singing with now on the World Enslaved album, which came out December. I've had a chat to Matt Hanchuck, my favourite Canadian man, all around great guy, great guitarist as well. So it's really, really cool to get to have a chat to you, my friend.
Thank you. Glad to be part of the show, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, absolute pleasure, man. When I knew you were kind of jumping over on this album a while ago, kind of before it was made really official, Matt said something to me and sent over a little bit of stuff, and I was really, really impressed. Not only one, because your vocal stylings, man, but you also brought in a little bit of the elements of the power metal as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Aaron's a different animal. Aaron's a great singer. I don't know much about him, but what I've heard, he sounds really good. I think I bring more of a power, like vocals with some, I guess you would say muscular mid-range and some Halford type-esque, razor bladey type screams, you know. This album was rushed for me. This next record's going to be a mammoth because we already started tracking some of it. Man, it sounds killer.
Yeah, it does sound absolutely killer. I don't want to give away too much of the next album, but I know Matt is a super busy guy and he's a highly motivated musician as well. Not only, he's doing like most metal people who've got a day job, but he's also every spare minute he's laying down music. I remember I interviewed him, I think it was maybe the second album or the third album, I want to say, something like that anyway. And he was going, man, I've already got my next two albums ready to roll. I'm ready to go. What's it like working with someone like that who's just,
must be encouraging? Actually, it's really cool because I'm kind of a fast worker too. I'm a prolific songwriter. So he's right up my alley as far as we're both hyperactive. We're both very productive when we do work. So I think the combination of me and his energy, commitment to the metal is going to just keep flowing, and it's going to be an ebbing flow. And the next record, man, is going to be so much better than this one, even though this one turned out really good. The next one's going to be our comfort zone. We're going to, we're comfortable with each other. We're trading back ideas, and it's just going to be a mammoth.
Yeah, we'll get into that one there. But the World Enslaved, how did you originally get on board for this, man? Tell us a little bit about how you first come onto this project.
Well, Matt reached out to me last year sometime, and we were just shooting the shit a little bit, talking metal and stuff. And he said that I was one of his favorite singers. He liked Shatter Messiah a lot. And he said that Aaron was either leaving the band or going on to do another project. I think he was going to do some Annihilator stuff. And he asked me if I would contribute to the next Wreck Defy record. So I was like, I didn't really know him, but I thought, okay, I'll take a little peek at what you got going on. And instantly I fell in love with just the brutalness of his rhythms, the high octane speed. I mean, that is a classic thrash metal dude right there. You know what I mean? And then I just thought, man, my vocals are going to sound really good with this type of music. So I told him, yeah, we'll do this record, see what happens. And he had one out west that was going to mix it. I don't know what, I think it's Trident Studios or something like that. So we just started banging this stuff out. And I'd pretty much say we did that record in probably a total of 7 days as far as the vocals. So it was kind of rushed, but we both were focused on what we wanted to get out of it. And we're both committed to getting the highest level of sound and metal. So it just worked out really good. Everything fell into place. And as you can see, the reviews have been astronomical already. So I think it's being accepted around the metal world. And so that's basically how we started to get together. And then me and him just gel. He's a really good guy. He's so easy to work with. I mean, that's what I want. I want to work with people that's easy to work with. There's no hassles. So yeah, that's kind of how that all flowed.
Yeah, there's no stress, no drama, just that pure drive to want to lay down to lay down great music. So that 7 days would have been a very hectic time. How did that go with you guys? Like Matt is obviously up in Canada and you're down there in the US.
Well, I have my own studio.
Yep.
I got my own studio here in Ohio. So, and then I upgraded my microphone. I got some better equipment to do the record. And I play in an AC/DC tribute band. And my guitar player, Freddie DeMarco, which is a phenomenal artist, he has a really nice studio. So he kind of gave me some tips and ropes of what to do, you know, keep your vocal tracks clean, isolated. So we just started he'd send me the audio wave files of the songs. He'd send me the lyrics. Then he might get on the video messenger and, you know, kind of hum out what he's feeling. And then I would just take it from there and use my creative juices to kind of like wrap myself around each song. And then we just start tracking stuff out like madmen. And I just start shipping him stuff. If he didn't like it, I go back in, I'd retrack, because that's what the joy of having your own studio is. You don't have all them hours racked up as trying to track, you know, vocals out. So it all worked. It worked smooth. Then I sent the tracks to Matt. He okayed them, finalized them. Then I cleaned them up here, sent them back to him, and he sent them out to Juan, and then Juan dumped them into the project out there and master mixed it. And this is what we've come up with so far.
Oh yeah, man. So with this album, The World Enslaved, how is the songwriting process? Matt, I know he would have already had all the instrumentals and everything done like that. He's super crazy, productive, and an unreal musician like that. But with the lyrics, did you get to do some of the lyrics and stuff like that as well?
No, I didn't do any of the lyrics. I let Matt handle that because he held the vision already. You know?
Yeah.
So what I did is I came in and helped with melodies and kind of the arrangement of the songs. I mean, he kind of knew where he wanted them to go. And then I just put the final sledgehammer to the end of them and became a metal masterpiece that I really feel strong about the record. I mean, I think we did a really good job for the little amount of time, and we've only been together probably for months putting this album together. So now that we've got this little process that we do, this next record is going to be so much better, because already if he sent you anything, it's already to me sounding way more smooth. It feels comfortable. It's just going to be so much more better. I really do think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I love Wreck Defy. I've interviewed Matt a couple of times, had a couple of great chats with him about all bloody manner of things as well. And he was really excited about this. And when I started getting the vocals over, I've loved all the stuff, as you're saying, Aaron's done. But I feel like Wreck Defy are finally starting to get into their groove and to where they're at. And with you on vocals going forward, as you said, this was a fairly quick process getting this one out for you. But the next one you're really excited about. And it must be encouraging as well for you as a musician to get into this project and be with someone that motivated and who has a look at the big picture as well going forward.
Exactly. And what's really been, I guess, the most satisfying thing to me is that I'm immediately being accepted into the Wreck Defy camp by the fans. They're kind of digging that I'm a heavier singer, a little more aggressive, you know what I mean? So I think, like I said before, I think Aaron's a great singer. I have nothing but high accolades for the guy. You know what I mean? I don't know him, but he sounds great. But I just feel like I kind of like turned the final screw into that, you know, classic thrash metal, power metal. And that's just making the album so much heavier, but still retains the melody because of all the singers I've studied in my past. And this next record is going to have way more harmonies. We kind of rushed through this one, so I didn't get to apply all the harmonies that I wanted to on some of the choruses. So this next record could possibly have 5-part harmonies. You know, it's just going to be so much bigger, like vocally too.
And I don't know if I'm letting the cat out of the bag, but I did see the Facebook post for this, so I'm sure it's out there as well, that you are kind of working with an Aussie vocalist as well.
Yes. She is in a band called Temtris. She's amazing.
I interviewed her actually, Greg.
She's a very cool looking chick. She looks very metal. She seems enthusiastic already. I guess she's already getting into the tracks already. And we're going to be kind of like a duet thing here on some of these. And then I guess we've even got Stu Block coming on board to help out on some backing vocals too. We're going to make this next record as big as we possibly can. So we're going to have like some serious players coming into this next record, just like he had some really great guitar players from other bands come into this. Now we're going to extend it into the vocal area. Because see, I'm a team player. I want to get the best out of Matt's music, and I have no ego. He has no ego. We want to get the best sound that we can for Wreck Defy. So the more people that are professional and it can really get it, the merrier for metal.
Yeah, well, Genevieve is an amazing vocalist. I actually interviewed her for the last album Temtris brought out. I'm a big fan. I love her vocals as well. And I'm looking forward to you and her singing together because it's going to complement each other so bloody well, because she is just an amazing power metal vocalist. You know, Temtris is a bloody unreal power metal band, and with your vocals as well, I'm really excited about what's going on. And then Stu Block, he's actually sang on one of the tracks on the We Got You Covered album as well, the EP.
Well, there's a serious singer right there. He's one of my newer, younger heroes of singing. I mean, I really enjoyed his work with Iced Earth, his other solo projects, that side band that he played with. So I think Stu's going to bring such a level of metal madness vocally, and then putting all three of us together. And I think he's even got maybe one or two in the back burner that might pop onto this too to help out. We're just going to layer this thing and make it huge, because to me, the album is going to be listened to for eternity. So why not give everybody the most you can give on a record? So when they turn that sucker up in their house, it's just a wall of sound, and just, you know what I mean? It's just going to be excellent.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And the amount of years that you put in, and some of the fans haven't seen some of your other bands and projects you've been in over the 20 plus years, man. They need to, besides Shatter Messiah, you've been in a whole ton of other amazing bands as well, man. Over the 20 odd bloody years you've laid down for metal, is there some really big highlights that have stood out for you so far, man?
Yeah, like I was in Breaker, the legendary Cleveland band. I replaced Jim Hamar for 10 years. We did Open Air, Headbangers Open Air, Bang Your Head in Germany, Keep It True. That band was a tough thing to, Hamar was a iconic singer, so it was kind of hard to take his reins over fully. I did have a lot of fan base that liked it. I think my biggest pinnacle probably was Archetype, because it was such a prog metal big opus of record. So that was a really good run for me. And Shatter Messiah was vicious. I mean, there was some vicious vocals on that record, man. You know what I mean? So what I told Matt is we need to delve into maybe a little bit of the Shatter Messiah sounds for this next record. Get some of those razor blade vocals like Dirge of the Christ, some of that approach. And then with having the Miss Lady of Metal from Australia, her complimenting me and her layering, and then adding Stu to it, it's just going to be outrageous, man. It's going to be metal.
Yeah, I can't wait. Everyone needs to watch that. But till then, everyone's got to jump over and grab all the bloody Wreck Defy albums that come out so far, including the World Enslaved, which come out December. Which track, man, did you really enjoy singing on? Do you have a favorite? I'm sure it's bloody going to change for you, man. But was there one track you really bloody
I think
enjoyed?
the one that I really liked the most was the I'd Share Your Grave.
Yep.
Only because I got to showcase my clean vocals. Then I had my raspy vocals. So I got to kind of, give a little taste of everything that I can do vocally, which still isn't everything that I'm going to give to this project. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm just getting comfortable with it. But I would think that would probably be my favorite song on the album. But see, to me, like, I kind of like Toe the Line. I like Kill the Pain. I like the aggressiveness and just that massive mid-range that I put in on some of those songs, you know what I mean? So those are some of my highlights of the record. But to be quite honest with you, I like every song on the record. I don't know if there's a weak song on the record. I mean, really, for as much time as we had in this record, which was very little, Matt was so focused and I was so focused, I think we just come out with a damn good album.
So after this album's done, you're like wrapped up, how long did it take Matt to turn around and go, okay, let's start work on the next album?
Oh, he was already sending me rhythms. I mean, he already had the next record ready to go. and he's probably got half of one after that. But I think the plan is we're going to do this next record. Then he's going to probably break off for a second, do the Gutter Crick second one.
Yeah.
And then we're going to kind of like take a slight break. But the way he's talking, though, the machine is just flowing and crushing along here so much. We may not slow down. We may put a third one out with me immediately. I don't know, but he's pretty excited about this, as I am too.
Yeah, and it shows. It's good to see bands like this and musicians that are using the most of their time, you know what I mean, and working out new ways to access fans and, you know what I mean, use that fucking digital streaming cycle that everyone's on these days and trying to reach out to people and being highly motivated and working and laying down the bloody groundwork will get your music across to ears. It's just pure hard work and fucking determination. You just can't sit back and rest on your laurels with music these days. There's a whole another PR cycle behind it, the fucking social media platforms, everything. It's a huge beast. And, you know, you probably would have noticed the changes yourself considering how long you've spent in the music industry and scene.
Well, yeah, and I'm kind of like a dinosaur. I've been around for a while, so I'm like a T-Rex. And this new age of technology, see, I had to have my geek buddy come in here and get me hooked up. As I get more comfortable with these things, I'll start networking socially more. And I'm a fan guy. So if I'm out, I'll sign 1 million autographs. I'll stay till the last lights off. You know what I mean? That's just how I roll, because I appreciate the fans the most of everything they give back to the band and the enjoyment they get out of our music and our performances. So I guess the next step would be is get this next record done, and then hopefully all this BS gets out of here and we can start getting out on the road a little bit, doing some good festivals, maybe jump on a couple of touring dates with another band, you know, maybe do a 2-week run. You obviously can't do these big runs like you did in the 80s, but you can still be effective and hit some strategic areas and bring the metal live. I mean, this thing live could be a beast.
Yeah, well, thrash metal live is unreal, man. This band would just be unbloody real. I would love to see you guys fucking wherever, here, there, bloody anywhere. It'd be great to see Wreck Defy playing live, because I know you can put on a fucking killer.
Would love to come to Australia.
Oh, mate, we've got a killer thrash metal scene over here. Get your Churches of Steel one year or something on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, there's a thrash metal one coming up in February I'm heading off to, which is a whole lot of Aussie thrash metal bands, and Desperate awesome. Playing their last run as well. We've got a killer thrash metal scene, and you guys would fucking rip it over here for sure. What's one of the things you're really missing about playing live? You're talking about the connection with the fans and that as well. What's one real big thing you're missing from not being able to play live shows at the moment?
Well, basically, I love the studio, but I'm a live guy, and I love the intensity of just the wall of sound, the electric energy when the lights go down and the crowd's getting fired up, and delivering the goods. You know what I mean? Delivering the goods is the 100% goal of mine live. Like the high notes got to be there, the brutal lows, the muscular mids, it's all got to be there. And then you just wrap it all around with a wall of sound and a killer show, and just deliver it to the fans. And then after that, hanging around, meeting the people that love your music, getting to know them, signing some autographs, you know, talking about their lives, what they're doing, you know, what they're into. So it's all like an interaction for me. So, and yeah, I'm really biting at the bit, because it's been, man, this pandemic or whatever you want to call it has got us about out of our minds, man.
Yeah, we're all hanging to get back into some live shows at the moment. It's slowly opening up and closing and opening and closing. So I think the right thing for you guys at the moment is to just keep laying down work and just kind of see how the fucking world opens up and plays out.
And that's what's let us be pretty effective too.
Yep.
I mean, if anything about the downtime, it's that it's given us a lot of time to stay focused on these projects and our recordings. And just the fact that, you know, I'm just so happy I built my studio, because it would have been so much more of a pain in the ass if I wouldn't have had a studio set up to be able to record my vocals now in Ohio, be able to send them up to Canada. That, you know, I mean, everything works a lot better now with the social networking, as far as you can trade WAV files and all that. So that was one of my biggest pluses that I've done, is built my own studio in my house.
Yeah, that would be encouraging, eh? Because you're able to work from a distance with Wreck Defy. But Are you got any other active projects at the moment? It must be encouraging for you now to have that studio and to be able to work. Are you doing other stuff as well besides Wreck Defy?
Yeah, I mean, I've got one of the guys that played on the record, the Nikolai guy that's in Agent Steel, Antazanov. Well, I'm actually singing on the next Prophecy CD for him. So I'll be doing that. And I got my Wags Metal Incorporated, which is my solo stuff, because I'm a prolific songwriter. I've wrote over 2,500 songs in my career. So I've got tons of metal myself. But like right now, my goal is I stay focused on what's at hand. Wreck Defy's the baby right now that needs coddled and nurtured. So I'm a very dedicated person. If I'm committed to something, I'll push a few things aside and stay focused on what needs to get done. But I have plenty of metal. I could send you a ton of stuff, my own stuff. If you like to hear it down the road, maybe we can do another interview of just Wags Metal Incorporated.
Yeah, that would be unreal, man. I've always got time to chat with you for that metal station at crank.com, man. Where's the best place people can head over and support you with all these projects, support you in general?
Go to reverbnation.com/the metal madman. That's my link on Reverb Nation. I've got hundreds of songs. I've done some killer covers like Michael Schenker, Metal Church, Queensryche, and then I have all my songs. And then another thing, you can go onto YouTube and punch in like Wagner live, and it'll pull up some of my glorious live shows where I've done like some shows with Ripper Owens at the Public Hall in Cleveland, Ohio. See, I actually play guitar in my other bands too. So I just don't sing in that. I'm more like a Mustaine in the other projects. So you can check all that out and make sure you go and get that, the World Enslaved Wreck Defy, because it is like a ton of heavy metal.
Yeah, it is, and it's got some killer shirts and merch with it as well. Matt sent me over a picture this morning of someone, I think it was in Oregon, with a Wreck Defy shirt. He's like, I don't know who this is, but this is really bloody cool. And I'm like, Wreck Defy worldwide. So everybody bloody get onto it, grab the albums, turn it up really loud. The World Enslaved, the neighbors are going to want to hear that one. Wags, we're going to crank in a couple of tracks as well. I'm going to put on I'd Share Your Grave, man. Which other one do you want to hear off of that album for the show?
How about Fashionably Offended?
Awesome, man. That's killer. I played that too a few weeks ago, man. I'm looking forward to belling that. And again, do you have any last words, shout outs, or thank you?
I just want to thank everybody for supporting the record, welcoming me into the camp, giving me such a positive review already of my vocals, you know, because when you switch singers, man, that's a really big deal. You know what I mean? People have to get into it and they got to absorb it. But I think that me and Matt's got a pretty good thing going here. And I want to thank you for having me on. And I just appreciate everything that you guys do. All you DJs that keep this metal going and you turn people onto it, you are one of the most important aspects of live music and heavy metal. So I just want to thank you, sir.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very, very much, my friend. We will talk again very, very bloody soon.
Okay. I'll send you some songs, okay?
Cheers, mate. Do it. You never know.